starts now.
A state of emergency in Missouri. More than 200 school districts are closed today due to winter weather.
We've got Brandon and Liz with team coverage of the freezing rain and ice, and Kate with the game plan for power outages. First, here's Brandon with what's about to hit Springfield.
Yeah, it's moving into western Springfield now, and it is heavy freezing rain. This is frozen, by the way. Temps are below freezing area wide. Springfield proper, we've got some heavier stuff right there in the central part of the city. The south end has been largely missed by this. Springfield is literally right on the line of this heavy stuff. But as you head north, Willard getting it right now all the way up through Mountain Grove, and you can see the heavy rain all the way down to about Mount Vernon right now. This continues to move to the northeast. Lighter stuff overall to the east right now. You've had some heavy pockets though, and within this band we're actually seeing lightning and thunder. It's rather odd, but yeah, we're seeing that, and temps are below freezing area-wide at this point. Now, that line's going to come north slightly through the day and should get really close to about Highway 60. That's west-east through Springfield. So eventually, I think we'll do about 34 for the high temperature, but that is not going to be the case for everybody. In fact, it may stay under freezing for a good part of the weekend for some of you. I'll show you who's got the best potential for ice when I come back in a little bit.
Thanks, Brandon. Just got an email from City Utilities just reminding people that they do want customers to call in to report any outages. That number is 1-888-863-9001, 863-9001. The weekend is starting early for thousands of students across the Ozarks.
Yeah, three-day weekend. Nearly 250 school districts have called off classes today, including Springfield, Nixa, Ozark, Republic, Willard, the list goes on.
Evangel, OTC also closed. We have the cancellations running right now at the bottom of your screen.
Freezing rain started falling early this morning.
Kate Alt continues our team coverage with a look at the road conditions right now. And Kate, we're about to see a big change in the metro area.
We can hear the change.
Ooh, look at that.
I think it's here. It started coming down really, really good. A couple minutes ago, we actually heard a rumble of thunder and saw a strike of lightning as well. So the rain is picking up, and just in time for probably what's going to be the heaviest part of the morning commute as people are trying to get into work. Sunshine is luckily still okay. Springfield has been pretty lucky because so far throughout the morning, all we've seen is wet roads, not necessarily slick roads. So right now, what you're dealing with is just that rain. There are spots that are probably going to be slick. We've seen a lot of people on Facebook saying that their porch is frozen over, but that their street is in pretty good condition. And crews were out all morning. They knew about this in advance and were out throughout the night and into the morning laying down salt. So not just the main roads and the highways, but also the residential roads and the side roads were pre-treated in preparation for this weather. And I think that's had a large amount of why the roads have not been so bad this morning. So if you are heading out, just keep in mind that you're probably going to be facing some varying amounts of rain throughout your commute today. It's been off and on, sometimes as light as just a mist and sometimes pretty much a downpour. So just be careful. Even though the roads aren't necessarily iced over, there could still be some slick spots, especially if you're traveling on the highway. Always be careful of those bridges and overpasses, and just take it slow throughout the morning no matter where you're heading out this morning, guys.
Thank you, Kate. Be careful out there. We don't have any major accidents to tell you about, no slowdowns, but you can see that traffic is starting to pick up, 65 and 60. You can see some of these live traffic cameras are glazed over from the freezing rain. Just noticed one alert pop up here, and there is traffic control happening at 65 and I-44, just to point that out. Look at statewide road conditions here in Missouri. Mostly clear, but you see this light blue area here. We showed you this earlier. I-44, Laclede County up into the Rolla area here. The light blue is showing mostly clear. Again, the conditions are rapidly changing. In Arkansas, so far looking pretty good, all green there. Turning now to air travel at the Springfield Airport. Let me just update this. Let's check arrivals first. Everything arriving on time with the exception of Allegiant. Allegiant canceled 2 flights in and out of Las Vegas, so those are canceled. United, American, and Delta have issued travel waivers for passengers flying to or from Springfield. That means you can change flights or travel dates without paying a fee. That applies for today and tomorrow. We have links to each airline's website so you can get more information on those vouchers online at ky3.com.
All right, many of you have been getting ready, stocking up on bread, ice melt, flashlight batteries. Meteorologist Liz McGiffin picks up our team coverage with when ice and wind can create power outages. Liz.
Well, of course, traveling on the roads, that's something that can be avoided by just staying back at home. But those of you, like you were mentioning, Paul, who did everything to prepare, it's the power outages that we're going to be watching out for you. Now, ice storm warnings, as well as those freezing rain advisories, those are in effect throughout the day because we are expecting some of the heavy rainfall that's falling now and even the thunderstorms linked to this to be causing some ice accumulation. Freezing rain has been the biggest problem for us. And really most power companies, when we start talking about ice accumulations of about ½ an inch or more, that's when they start to really up the crews that are watching this. Now, it's not just the ice that could result in some of the power outages, but wind is the secondary factor that we're looking at. We're talking about gusts over 20 to 25 miles per hour to start to cause some of the stress on top of the ice on those power lines. But also when we get stronger gusts, that could also result in some tree limbs falling on top of the power lines. As far as how much ice we're talking about, really those of us up to the north of 60, that's going to be where we continue to see some of the stronger, potentially even ½ inch or more ice accumulations. And wind, of course, that's the other big factor. And I think that could be some of the saving factors that prevent some of the widespread power outages. Today we're watching for those wind speeds to stay within the range of about 10 miles per hour. So be on the lookout for some of the spotty power outages, especially further off to the north you go, since that'll be where we see some of the higher ice accumulations into the weekend.
All right, utility crews have come a long way since the Ozarks' last big ice storm back in 2007 now.
Kate Alt shows us how that disaster dramatically changed how crews tackle major outages. Kate?
Well, the first people who are out assessing the damage and trying to make the call on whether they're going to need extra help is the linemen. They're the ones that are out there surveying where the heaviest damage is and trying to see if they're going to need any extra help to deal with power outages that come as a result of a storm. Back in 2007, 405 extra crews were called in through mutual aid to help Ozark Electric Co-op with restoration efforts. Now, luckily, this weekend is not projected to be as bad as that storm 10 years ago, but if anything does get too much for the crews to handle, they'll make the call for more hands on deck. Now, crews have iPads now in their trucks, and those have real-time information on damage. And social media is key for anyone looking out for information about outages.
We'll be using that format as well to let you know updates of where the concentration of damage is for us. We're efforting it. We know about it so that you have peace of mind that, okay, my utility knows about it, and they have guys sent to the trouble to get it restored.
Now, calling and reporting an outage nowadays isn't as useful as it was 10 years ago, and that's because the systems have been upgraded so much that crews likely know that you're out of power before you even have a chance to call it in. However, the technology does come in handy when it comes to reporting damage, because if you call in and give a report of damage or post it to a Facebook or a social media site, the crews are able to kind of target where those heavy areas are and where they should be heading out next. So if you are in an area that's seeing more ice rather than rain this morning and you think that you might lose power or you do lose power, so the best things to do is just keep connected to your utility company on social media, because they will be posting about where they're working and how long they think it will be before they'll get electricity turned back on. Live in Springfield, Kate Alt, KY3 News.
Kate, before you go real quick, with that heavy rain coming down, are you seeing that ice accumulate more on the grass where you are? Are you seeing a thicker glaze?
Not really, no. As I said, Springfield has been pretty lucky so far because it's just rain. So our cars in the parking lot have some ice frozen on the windshields and around the side of the cars, but the parking lot gravel, the grass, the roads, those are just wet as of now. So nothing slippery so far.
That's exactly what I was finding. The metal surfaces outside are starting to get ice accumulation on them. Thanks, Kate. We checked for power outages, and we just saw a handful across the entire state of Missouri. I saw 8 for the entire state. It's not a problem, power outages. If you want to stay up to date on the current weather situation, we got you set up here on KY3.com. We got you ready to go with school closings, the latest on the freezing rain. Kate's latest reports will be here. The satellite and radar, you are covered here. Road conditions, too. Maria?
Thank you, Paul. 2 snowboarders buried by an avalanche, the amount of time they were trapped, and what rescuers spotted under that wall of snow.
All right, 7:10. Brandon tells us where the heaviest freezing rain is falling right now and how long we'll stay under an ice storm warning.
#1 in the Ozarks. You're watching watching KY3 Ozarks Today on the Ozarks CW with Maria Nider, Paul Adler, and Storm Team meteorologist Brandon Beck. The place to be, on air, online, on the go.